Good day, it's me, Waifu Belector, the only fair human on Earth, and the MOBA genre is not a genre with a ton of options. I mean, generally speaking, you only really have the three games, those being League of Legends, Dota 2, and Smite. Admittedly, there are a few more if you're willing to play on mobile, although most of those are blatant, aggressive League of Legends ripoffs. You've got Mobile Legends Bang Bang. It's really called that. I didn't add the Bang Bang, it's that dumb. But yeah, Mobile Legends, you've got Arena of Valor, things of that ilk, and of course, League of Legends themselves on mobile with Wild Rift. However, if you want to play a MOBA on console, you've really only got one solitary, single, lonesome option: Smite. That's it. And if you want to play a MOBA on console and don't want to play Smite, then you don't want to play a MOBA on consoles. Sorry, buddy, I don't make the rules. Seriously though, Smite differentiated itself from existing MOBAs by having a third-person view rather than the top-down view that MOBA players are used to. So you get to be right down in the action. More importantly than that, for survival of the game though, they put themselves on console, somewhere no other MOBAs are. Smite is not the most popular game in the world, but it has gone virtually completely unchallenged on consoles for nearly a decade at this point. However, I bring this up to say that may not be the case for much longer. For one thing, for two things, we've got Predecessor and Overprime both taking a stab at not only the MOBA space, but the all but open range that is the MOBA console market. Both of these games that seek to be a successor to the long dead Paragon have held betas on PS5, so they will hopefully add an air of competition onto the MOBA console market that has never existed before. If you watched my last video before this one about Predecessor and Overprime, then you know that these two games have very similar goals in mind, clearly. So much so that both games have a bunch of the same characters. However, the great thing here is that their innate awareness of each other and beef with each other will not be the only beef created, because this also poses to cause a potential problem for Smite. But in this case, their problem is our benefit, because competition is good. Competition breeds better products, or weeds out the bad ones. I mean, not only will Pred and Overprime be new console MOBAs, they'll also make it so that Smite is no longer the only MOBA with a third-person point of view. And just like that, I can feel the uniqueness and novelty of Smite starting to wear off already. And so it does kind of beg the question, why have both Predecessor and Overprime chosen to be on console? I mean, they're on PC as well, but why go to console when it traditionally has been all but barren? This is the case because on PC you have to fight with gods and monsters. You've got Dota 2 and League of fucking Legends stepping on you. And sure, get whatever scraps you can get there because those people on PC know this type of game, but in all likelihood you will end up with scraps. And that's why they'll also go to where nobody is: consoles. However, the coast may not be as clear as once thought. As everyone makes a break for the nearly unclaimed MOBA console market, there is a shadow looming. The shadow of something big threatening to head your way. League of Legends. Wild Rift, more specifically. League of Legends Wild Rift is the mobile version of League of Legends. Now I say version, but in fact Wild Rift is an entirely different game. It doesn't even use the same engine as League PC. Wild Rift has been on mobile for like 4 years now, and even before it was out on mobile, it had already been announced for console as well. Clearly though, that has not happened, and we've gotten very little official information in regard to a console release. I think the last time they mentioned it was near the end of 2021 to say that it was taking longer than expected, and so they'd have no information or updates for it in 2022. Well, they didn't say anything in 2023 either, so they went above and beyond with the whole no info thing. But they also have not announced a cancellation. Data miners and leakers also found private test servers for the game on console around 5 months ago, which is usually something that precedes beta testing. So it's hard to tell when Wild Rift will come to console, or if it even will at all still. With such little information in 4 years, things don't look too good, but then we get data miners who point in the opposite direction, so who knows what to think. If Wild Rift on console were to get cancelled, it would probably be a beautiful thing for our two new console MOBA competitors and Smite as well. But it would kinda suck for us the players, especially me. I play a lot of Wild Rift and am excited for it to come to console. As it stands now though, I'd say the race is definitely on. The race to be the dominant MOBA on consoles, a title that Smite has held for a near decade simply by default. So I honestly wouldn't be too shocked if someone more deserving churned up and took the crown. I think it's exciting. I like MOBAs. I'm also a console player first and foremost when it comes to gaming. I have played League and Dota, but very little because I'm not a PC or mouse and keyboard guy. So surprise, surprise, the MOBA I've played the most is Smite, even though I haven't played it in years at this point. Following Smite though is Wild Rift, which I've played a hell of a lot of and still play, so I really do want it to come to console. And just recently I had a ton of fun with Predecessor and Overprime's betas on PS5. Can't wait for those to be fully available on console too. I think this is happening now because in this current gaming generation, PC and console players' interests align a bit more than in the past. They're still very different, but there's a few more things in the middle of the Venn diagram as opposed to years past. I think insider data shows this a bit more clearly, but we the public still get to see it with stuff like Baldur's Gate 3, where something that big and overbearing and rigidly hard to get into presumably wouldn't have really attracted console players in the past. But here we are. And the same goes for the complicated team-oriented toxic tower defense multiplayer games that are MOBAs. I think a lot of devs and publishers are seeing that there are enough console players who at least want to play some of the complicated bullshit that PC players have loved for a long time. What do you guys think though? Let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's just a coincidence that all these console MOBAs are on the horizon? Are you excited for any of them or all of them? Do you think Smite will retain its console crown, or do you even think it'll survive at all? Let me know. Whatever your thoughts are, drop them in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please like it. I appreciate it more than you realize, and I'd appreciate it if you subscribed even more. If you do subscribe, please turn on notifications so you know when the next video is out. Thanks in advance. Until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I just want Wild Rift on console. Goodbye.